So you've probably seen the thumbnail and probably know what I'm going to be talking about. So I went and seen the FNAF movie. So I'm going to explain, is this worth watching or should you watch it without actually spoiling anything at all? So I've seen a bunch of YouTubers and other FNAF people talk about this with giving minor spoilers or saying they're not going to give spoilers and the different thoughts and opinions. So I thought I would give this a try as well because again, I am someone that has been watching the FNAF lore. I've played majority of the FNAF games. If not, I've watched playthroughs of them. I'm a big fan of FNAF. I won't say I'm huge. It's more like if I've got really nothing to do or if I'm working, I usually throw a video on, and again, it's interesting enough for me to just have on in the background, but I'm not like deep diving into the lore. So I've seen it. I know it's been out a few weeks, so there's probably a handful of people that already know what I'm going to say. But this video is kind of mainly for people that want to see it, but are not, I don't want to say afraid, but they don't know if they're going to enjoy it or not. So I'm going to be solely basing it off my partner's thoughts and opinions, who know very, very little when it comes to the FNAF lore or story, and see if it's still enjoyable for that. The first thing I'm going to say about when it comes to FNAF is I am going to be spoiling none of it. So if you're in this for spoilers or want to know, sadly this isn't for you, but please go and enjoy the rest of my videos. The second thing is, do you need to know anything at all when it comes to FNAF or FNAF lore? I'm going to say no. To be honest, there is a lot of plot points of this film that kind of don't make sense or miss the spot, but it's kind of there anyway. Even if you know everything about the lore and everything about the thing, you're still probably going to be parts of the film going, wait, what's going on? Or there's parts that are ignored. So one thing I do want to say is if you do decide to go and watch this, there is an after credit scene. So again, I'm not spoiling it on you, but a lot of people when I went to see it left because it's usually Marvel or all of that do it. No, this has one too. When it comes to the story, watching it for the first time, the story is good. My partner was really shocked when there was like the big spoiler or the big announcement, or like you find out who the bad guy is, and when I watched it, I knew pretty much the second they were on screen. So again, it's kind of more, it's a different film depending on who you're watching it or who you're watching it with. Because if you're watching it and you know a lot about it, you'll see characters, you'll see actors, you'll see like things in the background, and you're like, oh, I know that. So it's kind of more an entertaining aspect for that, especially if you're big into like YouTube lore or YouTubers or anything like that. You'll be like, oh, I know that person or that thing or that item, where the person watching it will not. When it came to the actual when it came to finishing watching the film, my partner only had one question, and that was kind of not shocking to me, but I was like, out of everything we watched, that was the only thing you didn't know. What about this, that, or the other? She was like, no, I guessed or seen or could have thought why they did that or the other. And again, without spoiling it, I can't really say what that question was. When it comes to the acting, it's very variant. There's a handful of actors that do a really, really good job. They are amazing actors and they do really well. And then there's some that their acting skills are kind of, I don't want to say not the best, but again, you're kind of like, it took me out of the film once or twice going, why are they doing that? Or why are they pulling that face? Like, it was very weird, especially since you notice when one of the main actors is a really good actor, you can kind of tell the difference between the two. One thing I do have to think that kind of shocked me the most when it came to this was, of course, if you know this trailer or you're up to it, you know what the FNAF characters look like or the animatronics. They were done amazingly. Like, I thought like these were actually made, and I was like, holy shit, these are good quality. Like, I think that majority of the money or the majority of the focus was built on how amazing is this. Now, the one thing I do want to say is if you are into horror, it does come off as a horror, but it's more of a story explained. There's not many jump scenes or horror scenes at all. It's actually more of a storytelling with an underlined horror theme. It's not overly scary. Like, I didn't jump scare once. They added in a handful, but it's not like outgoing. There is a one scene that would be considered horror, but that's really it. And even then, because it's where I am a 15A or a PG, it isn't gruesome. Anything that is gruesome is rather off-scene, or you see a shadow, or you just assume that it happens. There's pretty much no blood or gore or anything like that, or nothing scary. It's kind of like, you know, they're coming, you know what's happening, and it's kind of just that little bit of excitement for it to happen. Then when it comes to the story itself, it is kind of, it was a very difficult job for them. I do have to say that. It is very difficult for them to do a story that FNAF people will love, but new people will also enjoy. And they did a really, really good job on that, in my personal opinion, because, again, I've written scripts before and I know that how difficult it would be. To be honest, they did an amazing job on separating the two. I do think it is good enough for people to enjoy, and I do think it is good enough for new people to watch, but I do think that there is that mid ground of people won't be 100% satisfied. There'll be people that really love the FNAF lore going, oh, I wish they put this character in, or they didn't do this character justice, or blah blah blah. And then there's new people that would be like, why is that character there? Like, what does this mean? Like, what happened here? Why did they do that? And then there's also the middle ground of they've left a few things open, which is usually, again, I made this as spoiler free as possible, unless they talk about it in the second one. Had even me going, wouldn't this have happened if this was like real? So there's a lot of the film, and to be honest, I seen a poster that film critics gave it a low number, but then the audience gave it a high number, and that makes sense because when it comes to film critics, they're kind of basing it on, like, they're going in probably not knowing anything about FNAF, so they're not basing it on anything at all. That even people that don't know FNAF that go in can go, I've heard of the game, I know a little bit about the game, I'm going to enjoy it. And it's a really good job. The acting in it, for supposedly it was made by a small indie company, done an amazing job. The main actor did an amazing job. The FNAF villain, amazing job. The handful of characters in it, done amazing. To be honest, after watching it, personally, I would give it probably a 7.8. Like, it's something I won't go crazy for, but I'm happy I went to see it, and I think they did a good job. I watched it on actually Halloween, and then I also watched Get Out and Run Rabbit Run. And Get Out, great film, absolutely amazing, and Run Rabbit Run was absolutely terrible. So actually, I think watching Run Rabbit Run made me appreciate the FNAF film more. So if you watch this video to go, I am interested in watching the FNAF film, but again, I know nothing about FNAF. Should I go watch it? Yes. But watch it and try and put your mindset to, it is not a game, it is not a law, and see if you can enjoy it, even as an experiment, to be like, if you stop thinking about the fans, stop thinking about the game, and just go, yes, I'm going to go in this and put it soul blank, like horse shutters on, I want to watch this without thinking about anything else. It is a really good film, and you would probably, I say majority of people would want to see a second film. if you are big into the FNAF lore, big into YouTubers and stuff like that, yeah, you're gonna absolutely love this film. The only thing I could see people complain about is the small little details of the like, oh, I wish this person was in it, or they should explain this more. Fairness, they had a short time, like, to put everything in, and someone that like makes films, studies films and stuff like that, I think they did a really good job. Trying to explain everything, they'd had to take a few shortcuts and have like a few characters go, this is what happened, instead of like slowly getting you to figure out and guess it. But that's just, again, they tried to make a less than 2-hour film with like, what, 6 games and 30 million bucks. So they did a good job. And again, I've heard this is the creator of FNAF's like final project, so I'm not sure if they're going to make a second FNAF film or anything like that. But again, if you do go and see it, please come back and let me know what you thought. If you have seen the film, again, let me know what you thought. All in the comments down below. While you're there, remember to like, subscribe and follow me on all my social media, and I'll see you all in the next video.